Hey everyone, Ning Cohen here from Hyperactive Bookworm. The following video is my interview Q&A with Jamey Moody for her book 3 in Your Way series. It's called Finding Forever. We talk about the book, we talk about her writing, that kind of thing. Let me know what you think in the comments and hope you enjoy.
Bye. Hi, everybody. I'm Neem Cohen. I'm here today with Jamey Moody. She's the author of our second February book, which is Finding Forever. So I'll let Jamey introduce herself. Jamey, if you just want to tell us a little about Finding Forever and how you are as a writer.
Well, I started writing about a year and a half ago. I found lesbian fiction, lesbian romance a few years ago on Amazon. And I live in a very small Texas town that has, I can't even give you a number of how many gay people are here because they're so closeted. And anyway, so it was like I'd had no community, no friends. And when I found lesbian fiction on Amazon, it was like it opened a whole new world. And so I read that for several years, and I just decided to give it a try because Amazon allows you to self-publish. And so that's what I did. I wrote me a story and got an editor to clean it up and started publishing. And I can't tell you how wonderful it's been. I love writing these books. It makes me feel good. And I hope my readers feel good when they read it. And it's just, like I said, opened a whole new world. And I just love it.
That's fantastic. That's blown me away. When we were talking about it earlier, that I was like, what do you mean you've only been writing that short a time? That's amazing.
Well, thank you.
And you were mentioning that you didn't particularly want to be a writer when you were younger or anything?
Well, I know a lot of people have been writing all their lives, or they knew they wanted to do that. For me, it was more like, when you get that question, what would you like to be when you grow up? Or if you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would you like to do? And that's what I would have loved it. I would love to have been an author and write a book that somebody loves. That was always my standard answer because I thought that would be wonderful. And I never dreamed it could ever happen. And things just did happen. And so I gave it a try, and here I am. And I'm grateful every day for it.
That's fantastic. So the series, we'll go into this book. So this is the third book in the series.
Right.
And when you started writing the series, did you actually have the full 3 planned or set out, or did they kind of organically present themselves after you wrote the first one?
Well, when I wrote my first book, I decided that I wanted to try to do a series next. And so with that in mind, I was looking at maybe 3 books, which is how the series turned out. But I tried to think of, I love exercise and have worked out all my life, either played sports or after I was too old to do that. I've just always worked out and enjoyed it. And so for me, a dream job would have been having my own fitness center. And so I started with that. And then I knew that I wanted to have 3 books, and I wanted to have 3 women that had their own business, their own fitness center. And it kind of took off from that. The first book, I knew for sure that I wanted to do something on body image because that is it's just in your face all the time now. And
absolutely.
I wanted to do something to touch on that because I love exercise so much. Exercise isn't for everyone, but there's a lot you get from exercise besides just a number on the scales or anything like that. There's so much more mentally and spiritually you can get from just moving your body. And it doesn't have to be, exercise, just moving your body. So I wanted to use that as the subject area. So that's how the first one. One interesting note on the first one, there is a triathlon that one of the main characters, Olivia, she trains for. And there's just something about me in every one of those books, or that's happened to me in every one of my books. And
oh wow,
this particular triathlon, when I write about it, it is from my own experience because I do at least one a year. And so there's one part in the book on the swim part of the triathlon, which some people have said was kind of funny, but it really happened to me because somebody told me, said, now listen, when you get in that water, be careful because the people coming from behind you, they're going to swim right over you. And I thought, well, that's crazy. Can they not see me? It happens.
Wow.
Yes. And it will kind of freak you out. But anyway, so that was kind of the part of me that's in that book. So that's where that one came from. And then the second one is Finding Family. And on that one, I got that same thing happened from a life experience. My niece had a little girl. She's about a year and a half now, and she was a preemie, and she had some problems. And so I went to see her. She was about 2 weeks old, and she was in the pediatric ICU. And I was sitting there rocking her and just looking down at this precious little baby. And the idea came to me. So I wrote a book about it. So that's where that one came from. And then on Finding Forever, I had the last owner. It was her love story. And I have to tell you, I felt a little pressure.
Wait, spoilers, guys. If there's people watching, we're probably going to do spoilers. Sorry, I should have said that.
Sorry about that. But
that's okay. I normally people know at the start, so that just be aware. Heads up.
Yeah, really.
I haven't read it.
I felt pressure because I wanted to give Stella, that's the third owner, the best love. I mean, a love story that should be hers because she is one of the favorite characters from everybody in the books. So, and what's kind of interesting in that particular book is when I got her together with Sophia, they needed a place to take a trip. And so I ended up choosing the setting and the people from my debut novel. And that's where they went.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's a little Easter egg.
So yes, if you would like to, if you like those people at the end of the book that were in the Virgin Islands, you can go read my debut novel and you'll read all about them. So
that's so great.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. I needed a place to send them, and I thought, what better place? So
yeah, absolutely. That's great.
What happened? Yeah.
So these places that you said, I was actually going to ask about the Virgin Islands. Is that somewhere you've visited?
Love to go. No, I have not. I mean,
okay.
But that's a place that I would love to go. I wanted that first book to be a beach setting, and it needed to be a setting that the main character could decide to stay there if she wanted to. And so that's why I made that. Well, I made it a beach setting because that's what I like. That's what I wanted to write about.
You do tend to write what you like.
Well, that's right. That's what they say. You need to write books that you don't see. If you don't see, what you want to see out there, then write it. So that's how that comes out.
Pam's just popped up in the comments, and
that's right. She's gonna.
There is so much to the story. You'll love the gems inside too. So I'm not sure which story she's talking about, but obviously she enjoys all of them, which is great. But I love when authors put in Easter eggs.
Oh yeah.
And, characters from previous books and things like that. Which is just fantastic. But that travel that they do. I was rereading the book and a friend of mine and mentor passed away. And the first time I read it, I was like, oh wow, like that's so bizarre. Like would someone who knows they're dying organize something like that for their future? And the second time I read it, I was like, oh God, yeah, they really would. Because I could see my friend. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if in, 5-10 years, I hear about her having done something similar for her partner to move on. And it was just like, oh, that really struck. Like it really just went, oh yeah, okay. I could imagine that sort of when that heartbreak of, you're not going to be around for there forever.
Right.
So yeah, it was brilliant. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was very much an impact.
Oh, good. Thank you. I'm glad. Uh-oh. Neen's got a call.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I am getting better. I'm just still have the lingering.
No.
All right. So we'll just go here as well. So so you always wanted that dream of being able to write a book.
Yes.
But did you not actually do any writing earlier? Or was it just a dream that you never really
but it was more it's nothing like the length of a book or anything like that. I've written different little articles for different things in my professional life, but not anything of this magnitude.
Right, okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm reading the comments. That Pam.
Yeah. I have the cold, but I'm getting there. And it's all right. I promise it's not Rona. We've already been checked and all that stuff. It's just a lingering thing because of my asthma and my damaged lung. So it's all good.
Sorry.
So, no, don't be silly. It's all good. So were you a big reader when you were growing up and that sort of stuff?
I've read all my life. My mom said that when I was in grade school or however old you are when you learn to read, she said it opened a whole new world for me. She said it was really fun for her to watch. And she was an avid reader. And that's probably where the romance came from. She always read romance novels, and some she'd pass along to me, and she just loved them. And true. My sister, she was telling me that Mom was in a book club, and so we would have books come into the house. And
that's so great.
Oh yeah, she always had books and was always reading something. I mean, wherever we were, if we were on a trip, anywhere, she was always reading a book. So yes, I love to read. That's one of my favorite things.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It would have been so hard, like just growing up in such a small community and area where you didn't have a lot of variety. I very much feel that. We had the same thing where I grew up and didn't even know lesbian fiction was a thing until like way past, and still trying to catch up.
Me too, but I love it. And I love the community and the author community. It's just unreal how welcoming they are and how friendly they are.
And how helpful. They're always there to help in any way they can. It's a beautiful community.
Yes. I mean, you can email them anything, and most of them will answer your question or anything, or try to help you and promote one another, because we're all in it to make our genre better and make it more visible. So, we promote one another too. It's been great.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's so great to hear from another author's perspective,
it
their
is.
own experience with it, because it has been. It's been like that. Sorry about that, guys. So what are you working on now at the moment, Jamey?
I have a standalone that I'm working on, and I am so close to being finished. I'm hoping to finish it this week and get it sent off to the editor. So it will probably be published sometime in April. But it's a
and does it have a title?
It does. I just titled it. It is One Little Yes.
One Little Yes. Oh, that's a nice
That's what I ended up with. One Little Yes.
Fantastic. And can we have quick blurb, elevator pitch for it?
This is new for me because I'm writing main characters that are in their 30s. I usually write characters that are in their 40s, 50s. Just because you don't see that as often, but I am going with one is 34 years old and the other is 37.
Okay.
The main character has kidney disease and needs a kidney transplant.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so she has this wonderful group of friends that are very smart, and they decide to take on finding her a donor through this project that they come up with. And so she meets someone that works with her best friend's boyfriend. Did you follow all of that?
Yeah.
And they kind of hit it off. And so it just kind of follows them falling in love, but also you have this this doubt and dread in the background trying to find this kidney donor. And so
Wow.
so that's kind of the premise behind it. And they go on a few adventures, and as much as she can, because she's ill. And anyway, that's kind of that's all I'll tell you at this point.
No, that's good. We don't want too much.
Okay.
Obviously, Pam likes the sound of that one. Thanks,
Yeah,
Pam.
she does.
Oh
good.
no, that sounds fantastic.
I hope it will be.
Yeah. So, have you had to do a lot of research in relation to the kidney or kidney transplant, or is it something that
it's something I know about. I'll tell you why I know about it. I haven't had a kidney transplant, but I did have to have a kidney removed. And so I remembered going through the recuperation for that and everything. And I thought, that's just like donating a kidney. And so I do have some hands-on experience with it.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, not that you've had that.
No, I'm fine. All good. No, but I'm fine. But I thought, you can kind of highlight that and let people know how that works.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
How I chose that.
That totally makes sense. You have that old adage of, and you know, for me, I write horror and dark fantasy. Not really what I know, but you can put things from your real life into stories, and it does help make them just that little bit more genuine and realistic, and it helps.
Well, if it's what if you like horror, that's what you should write. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah. It's been very cool. Like we were saying about the community, it's so beautiful to see so many authors embrace the many different genres of les fiction.
Yes,
like it's not like, still a lot of people automatically assume les fiction is romance, which is great because I do love reading that. But it is so nice to see there is more as well.
Yes. Oh no, I agree.
In all the genres, and it's just nice to be able to see representation in all genres. So it's fantastic.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
All right. So in Finding Forever, because I'll admit now, I hadn't read the first two books before I read it. I now want to go back and read them. But because of that, I was like, who are these characters? Oh, they're interesting. I need to know their story.
Were you able to understand? That's what I want to know, though, because I knew them. But then when you start a new book like that and you want it to be a standalone, you hope you explain them well enough so that the reader doesn't feel like they don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, so, no, you definitely explained it. It took a few pages to kind of go, hang on, who's with who?
Right.
But that happens with all books until you get around it. But no, absolutely. Once you get into it, the dynamics of them all. I personally loved Sophia. I just loved her energy and her enthusiasm, and she was just adorable. Who was your favorite character in writing Finding Forever?
That's hard because I love all of those characters. You just, everybody loves Stella, and I love Stella because she's closer to my age than Sophia is. But man, wouldn't I like to date Sophia? Heck yeah. So it's like I love them all, and even the minor characters that were in there from the previous books. I can't really pick a favorite. They're all my people.
Very diplomatic of you. Very diplomatic.
Well, it's true. I love them all.
No, it's good. You should actually like your characters, and that shines through when you're writing them. That they're forever.
Well, that's one thing that people will say in reviews about my books. They're low angst, and that's true.
Yeah.
Once I start, I have trouble. I want people to be able to escape when they read my books. That's what I'm all about. I am the queen of sappiness. I know they're sappy. I can't help it. That's just the way they turn out because that's the way the characters are. But no, yeah, and I have low angst because that's what I want for them. It's
I absolutely enjoyed that it wasn't that.
Some people do. Some people need low angst. They don't want to read about these poor people breaking up and then trying to find their way back to one another. And that just suits me and suits what I want to write. So I'm the queen of sappiness, and I embrace it.
I'm not the biggest sappy reader.
No, I don't mean.
I'll tell you right now, but I get that some people really love that.
Yes.
And I did, however, like that it wasn't that kind of 75%, 80% where they break up and you're like, oh, just talk to each other. Just do it.
That's what one of my my ARC readers always says that she likes best is my characters talk to one another. And that's, I don't know that I could do that in real life, but it's easy to write that this is how you should be communicating, people, so.
Yeah.
Well,
Pam's got a question here as well. And I'll just put it up.
Sophia, was that hard to write? Yes, it was hard. Those two are best friends. And I wanted to show that Olivia was a little jealous because she did everything with Sophia. And then she gets married and has a baby and doesn't have as much time for Sophia. And Sophia had to go out on her own and find other people to do things with because Olivia didn't have time for her anymore. And so Sophia gets jealous, especially when she finds out that she's with Stella. And she acts like some of us would when they get jealous and get upset and lashed out a little bit. And then, of course, later she thinks about it and realizes how much she has messed up, and then they end up back to being best friends again. So I thought that was sort of real life, that could happen in real life.
Absolutely. Like it becomes really hard when you do have a child and you suddenly don't have the time that you used to have.
Well, yeah, for your single friends, see, because she's still single. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it does become difficult and a hard balance of trying to balance it all out. And there is that jealousy when you're so used to being the one that, they call on. And then they can't because you are too busy. And it takes a lot to realize that it's nothing personal. It's just life sometimes goes in different directions.
Exactly.
And it's just finding a new balance of the friendship, of the relationship. So
that's what they worked through. Exactly. Was finding that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for this chat today. If anyone's watching as well, I will be putting this up on my YouTube channel later and I'll share it in the group. So yeah, if you're watching for the rewatch as well, hello everybody, hope you've enjoyed it. And thank you so much for joining us today, Jamey.
Thank you for having me. I was just honored that you picked my book, and I'm so glad that people read it, and I hope they enjoyed it.
No problems. Thank you. Okay, bye everyone.